Hey, what's up guys? It's Exilent, and today I'm going to show you how to build the large garage in Motortown. Even though the large garage is mostly cosmetic, it's still pretty awesome because you can store so many cars inside of here. And it's also really good practice to learn how the supply chain works in this game, as we're going to be dealing with multiple different industries because you actually have to build the large garage. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and get right into it. First things first, I would recommend going to the bottom left hand corner of the map. It's just going to be labeled as vendor, but this is the architect building. Once you visit this location, if you go to the very top, you can speak with the architect and buy the large garage blueprint. You can buy parking spaces to spawn your vehicles and houses that you actually don't have to build, but you do have to furnish. Next thing, you're going to want to find a plot of land that's large enough to accommodate the large garage, as not all plots of land will be able to. So just showing you here in this example, I cannot put the large garage here. So make sure that you're getting a large enough area. I would recommend the starter area here in Jeju, as it's right below the harbor and it's the perfect place to start your first large garage. Once you've got the blueprint plotted down on your land, it's going to look something like this. And now this is where we have to start delivering certain materials over to your building construction site. So I decided to start building in the top right hand corner of the map just for this video. And if you walk over here to this sign, it'll let you know exactly what you have to bring over to complete the build. This will take you several hours, especially if you're doing this in a solo world, so I would recommend trying to get some help if you can, or going into an online server. So this is where the supply chain starts coming into play. So I'm going to show you how to go and get each material, starting with the easiest material first. The first material that you're going to have to locate is sand, and luckily this is very easy to find. You can go to any major city and look at the construction site, and usually they'll also have a dump truck out front that you can use as well, so it makes it really easy to get this material. I decided to pick the location here in Jeju since it's near my building site, and if you go here, there's usually a dump truck right out the front, but what I would actually recommend is going to a warehouse and finding this kind of icon, and you can spawn in one of the Atlas dump trucks because it holds more product. You don't have to own the dump truck, you can just go and rent it and then drive this to the construction site, and make sure when you're picking up the job that you're selecting the correct one that's going to take it to your building construction site and not something like the concrete factory. That's going to come later in the tutorial. It's going to take you about 2 trips if you use the Atlas dump truck. So next, we're going to go ahead and source out our wood planks. So you can go right here to this log yard. If you're in the bottom corner of the map, you can actually go down here, but the terrain is really rough and I would recommend having a off-road vehicle setup. So if you're watching this tutorial, you're most likely going to be here at this log yard. Once you're here at the log yard, you're going to see there's a log trailer already here. If not, you can spawn it from this little icon. You are going to have to drive a truck up here. Unless you own one, you can actually spawn it up there, but here you can just go to a warehouse and get any of these semi trucks. Luckily, I own my semi-truck, so I'm going to go ahead and spawn it in and get hooked up on the trailer. Then just make your way right up the hill, and here we're going to start sending logs to one of the lumber mills. So for this tutorial, my build site's closest to Sangdo lumber mill. There's also the OG lumber mill if you're in the bottom corner of the map. And we're just going to load up 4 logs and go ahead and take it to the Sangdo lumber mill drop-off. So essentially what we're doing here is delivering logs to the lumber mills so that they can turn these into planks. Just be careful on your way down here. It's very easy to tip over if you take these turns too fast, especially since it's off-road. If you do end up flipping, you can hit R on your keyboard and call roadside assistance to tow you back to the road for a small fee. Once you're here at the lumber mill, you're just going to go ahead and deliver these logs, and then we can go ahead and start unhooking our trailer and get a flatbed trailer hooked up and wait for these logs to be turned into planks. So this is the first step in the supply chain. So here I'm just unhooking the trailer, and I'm going to go ahead and spawn in a flatbed trailer. And again, if you don't own one, you can do so right here beside the lumber mill. So just make sure when you're picking up these wood planks that it's the correct ones and you're taking them to your building construction site instead of one of the other construction sites. And this is how you deliver the wood planks. You're only going to need 2 of them. Next, we're going to have to learn how to make concrete. So come right up here to this part of the map. This is the only concrete factory in the game. And here it's going to tell you the recipe that you're going to need for concrete. So we need 10 cement, 1x fuel, and 10 sand to make 10 concrete. And we're going to need 20 concrete overall. Similar to what we done earlier, just go to a construction site and deliver sand to the concrete factory sand drop off. This is going to take 2 trips if you use the Atlas dump truck. So I'd go ahead and use that over the dumpy. Next thing is we're going to have to deliver fuel over to the concrete factory. So if you make your way up to the very top of the map here to Jeju Harbor, just drive all the way past the racetrack into the harbor here. And if you go through this chain link fence, you're going to see all kinds of semis that you can just hop in and connect it to that tanker trailer. You can also spawn them in if you need to. Then just make your way across the road over here to this marker. And you want to make sure that you're accepting the job to take fuel over to the concrete factory. Once you deliver the fuel, we're going to have to learn how to get cement. So you can go over here to the Nabong cement factory. It is quite a drive, so I'd recommend setting up a campy so you can spawn on top of that if you have one. But here we're going to deliver limestone from the quarry down here to the cement factory, and this will make the cement. When you make your way up to the quarry, it's going to be very steep, so make sure that you have one of the Atlas dump trucks at the very least. And I would recommend going to this number 3 supply area. It's the easiest to get in and out of because it is very steep. While you're here at the cement factory, I would go ahead and spawn in your dump truck because once you get up to the quarry, there's nowhere that you can spawn it in unless you already own one. So go ahead and spawn in the Atlas dump truck. I would recommend when you get to the top of the quarry with your dump truck, go ahead and take the right hand side all the way over to our deliver area. It's just a lot easier to go this way in my opinion. And if you own your dump truck, you can spawn it right here in these parking spaces. Once you made it over to the pickup point, just be really careful. You're still going to have to make 2 trips even if you load this thing all the way down. So what I've done here, I would not recommend. I went ahead and loaded this truck all the way up as heavy as I could just to show you how hard it would be if you do this. I would recommend only loading 10 units because it's going to take 10 units of limestone to make 10 units of cement. So you're still going to have to make those 2 trips anyways. And at first, things are going to seem really smooth until you go up this first incline. And this is with the stock Atlas dump truck. We're going like 8 or 9 miles an hour. It is doable, by the way. You can do it in a lower end gear. As long as you don't shift up to like 2nd or 3rd gear, you should be totally fine. But I would just load a little lighter. That way you can get this done a lot faster. It does take significantly more time if you load this down. So that's why I just wanted to show this clip here. Once you've got all the limestone delivered, you can go ahead and pick up the dry bulk trailer and a semi truck here at the cement factory. And unfortunately, you're still going to have to make 2 trips because you can only hold up to 18 cement. So again, here I would recommend carrying about 10 cement down and then repeating that process. So that's all the materials that we need for concrete. So you can pick up one of these mixie trucks here at the actual concrete factory. This is not the cement factory, it's the concrete factory. Go ahead and start delivering this to your building construction site, and it is going to take you several trips, so just be really patient here. And there you go, your garage is going to pop up once you have everything delivered, and that's really all there is to it. If you want to spawn your vehicles inside the garage, you can go back to the architect building and pick up some parking spaces. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.